Hey everyone, it's Sam here. I was just about to sit down for my evening 1 hour meditation sit, but I really just wanted to make a video just to thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. On Christmas morning, I rolled out of bed, stumbled over to the computer, clicked that little notification bell and saw that I had reached 100 subscribers. And wow, to think that there's people who really find value in the content that I'm putting out there on things like awakening, meditation, vipassana. That means the world to me, and I'm so grateful that I can provide content that provides value in your life to the point that you would subscribe to my channel. I love you. Thank you so much for subscribing. You know, you're the type of person who I want to hang out with, and if you're in Australia, I mean, hit me up. let's catch up. Now, I just wanted to spend a little bit more time humanizing myself. You know, a lot of my videos have been really highly edited, and it's never really just been one-on-one sitting down and talking with you. But if you want to watch a video that's more like educational, like psychological growth and spiritual growth, you know, watch someone like Frank Yang or actualize.org. So yeah, like why I'm doing what I'm doing, we'll get a little bit personal and vulnerable and just talk about the struggle, like the process that I've been going through with YouTube and in my life, and just where I want to take the channel and what I'm doing with my content in the future. Who am I? Yeah, let's get into it. Without rambling and giving you my whole life story, why am I doing what I'm doing? Well, for the largest portion of my life, I've dealt with anxiety. It's really pervaded my life for as long as I can remember, you know, through high school, upwards to now. And it still sometimes kicks my ass, if I'm being honest. But what's happened in the past 2 years has been pretty remarkable. Actually longer than that, probably like 4 years, where I've really started to work on improving myself. And that started by watching people like Jordan Peterson. I've got the boys behind me here who I draw, you know, like Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Jocko Willink, David Goggins, Tim Ferriss. They were the founding fathers of my sort of self-improvement motives. But then as my sort of willingness to step out and do new things grew, I really got more heavily invested into spirituality. And then I discovered people like Sam Harris. We got Alan Watts here. And down the bottom, SN Goenka in the bottom left there. I think that'll be in the screen. So these are all people who I look up to greatly. So if you follow any of those people, I'm sure that we would get along great. Although my channel is primarily spirituality, I do definitely value a lot of self-help tropes, particularly in the West. But my main interest right now, as I'm sure people who practice spirituality understand, is once you really start going down the path of meditation and insight and that sort of thing, it's really hard to look back. Once you get a taste of the honeysuckle of no self, of realizing these profound insights, so that's really led me to where I am today. And, you know, I now have a daily Vipassana meditation practice, or non-dual practices as well, of 2 hours daily. I've done 3 Vipassana meditation retreats, and I have a 3-month Vipassana meditation retreat coming up. And really the reason for making this content for you guys is there's a couple reasons. Number one, I really just want to have a medium in my life where I'm giving value. Because at the end of the day, there's no greater meaning in life than helping other people come out of their issues, out of suffering, out of, you know, things like anxiety and depression, like I've struggled with myself. You know, I know what it's like to be gripped by the balls and really have a long-standing issue that's holding you back from actualizing your potential. And my way of giving back is to create compelling content that actually adds genuine value to your life, that you can take out into the field and make the world a better place. That's the goal of this channel. And the particular problem initially that I envisioned I would be solving is making content for a younger audience that's more digestible. Because what I find, and tell me if in the comments if you think this is the case, but a lot of the material out there is really long-winded. Like you have 2-hour Dharma talks that could be condensed into maybe 20 minutes or so. And the original vision of this channel was to produce content that condensed that information, made it more accessible and more readily integrated, that is highly engaging, that people, want to watch to the end. So that means telling stories, having engaging editing that's high quality, that does Dharma and meditation wisdom justice, because it's so beneficial. It's been so beneficial in my life, and if you're watching this, undoubtedly your life as well. Reason number 2 is because I want to create serendipity, man. Like, I'm a weird guy. Not many people who are 23 have done 3 silent meditation retreats and practiced like a monk, right? And I want to meet people. Like, if you're still watching this video, you're the type of person I want to hang out with. Like, I love you. Thank you for sticking around and subscribing to this channel, because like the serendipity of putting content out there like this that I've been doing with like meditation and all that sort of thing is like, I want to meet people who are like me, because we're weird. Not many people go and meditate like we do. Like, weird in the best way possible. And also there's obviously the serendipity effect, that if I keep putting stuff out there that I love, like I live and breathe meditation. Like, every day I wake up in the morning, I meditate. Every day I read books on meditation. I listen to podcasts on meditation. I go on retreats. I live and breathe meditation. It's such an integral part of my life. And if I can share that with you, and you can network with me, and we can catch up and meet and all that good stuff, that also leads to like career opportunities. Eventually I want to I'm looking at psychotherapy, integrating meditative insight as well. The sort of thing that people like Tucker Peck, Locke Kelly and that sort of stuff are doing, like, integrating psychology, psychotherapy with meditation, because that is the future of healthcare in the mental health sphere in the West. The East and the West are combining together, and it's forming this sort of giga boss of a counteractive measure to overcome suffering and to, live a meaningful, beautiful life. So that's on the scope. It's either that or nursing. But, doing this thing, putting my name out there in whatever way I can, is just a great way to sort of network me with the people that I want to be networked with on a friendship level, and maybe eventually on a career level. And I just want to speak about the sort of journey that I've been on so far and putting content out there. Like, when I started, I was terrified. Like, there's so many thoughts that come up. Like, what will people think? Like, am I good enough? Am I credible enough to be putting spiritual content out there? Am I charismatic enough that I can talk like this? Like, I don't know, I feel weird. Like, it's like when you really put yourself out there, there's so much shit that is coming up in my mind. Like, what will people think? Like, what will people in school think who I haven't talked to in 10 years? Like, all these little friggin' nagging thoughts. But to keep pushing through that and to keep just expressing myself has been really cool for my growth. And there's 2 real things that are very difficult for me right now. First one is like the marketing side of things. Like, putting myself out there is hard enough, but then to make these like really cringy, clickbaity looking thumbnails, like, look, this one life tip, like, changed my life. Like, that's really weird for me to do. Like, I'm not gonna act like I enjoy doing these weird, cringy thumbnails, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's like clickbait, but it's not, because if you click the video and I provide genuine value, it's like, that's the goal. Because you have to get people to click the video, otherwise you just can't produce the value. Otherwise someone will just click another video where someone's doing this weird thing as well. So even in the videos, like in the most recent one I put up, it's like, make sure you stick around to the end for this weird bonus tip that not many people talk about. Like, saying that sort of makes me cringe, but again, it's like the value proposition. As long as I can add value, that keeps people watching. It's like, that's the goal, at least. And the last thing is like, am I credible to make content on meditation when there's gurus out there and people who are, have been meditating for 40 years and have all accrued all this wisdom? It's like, who am I? I'm like this 23-year-old guy who's been practicing for 2 years. But I think there's a real beauty in sharing my experiences and what I've been learning, because, I make content based off stuff that I've been reading, and it's very fresh in my mind. So it's like I'm learning, but I'm also producing stuff that already is time tested with through teachers. Yeah, I mean, people do still subscribe, and I look back and I'm sure that the content that I'm producing, like if I watched it a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I would find value from it. So really right now I'm just experimenting, and that leads me to, you know, moving forward. What am I going to be doing moving forward for you guys? So what can you expect from me and this channel? Well, I absolutely love spirituality and practicing meditation. Obviously, that's the bulk of my content, and I think pretty much all my content right now. And if you're watching, like, that is still going to remain the content that I create. But I also realize, like, I'm spending like 50 hours on, for instance, the John Yates Kuladasa video on producing content, and then it gets 70 views. And I know it's a new channel and I can't expect too much, but like, you know, 50 hours for 70 views, the input versus the output is pretty substantial in terms of not time waste, but you know what I mean, right? Like, I'm spending a shitload of time for low output. So I'm still working the balance of whether or not I want to do that really high quality stuff, but also more sort of conversational ones like this with more editing. Like, this is just a one-on-one, like you and me having a chat here. But yeah, like, it's tricky to walk that line. I'm constantly experimenting, figuring things out. But I'm thinking I want to branch out to more things like psychology, like integrating the Western aspect of psychology into spirituality. And then there's also the self-help niche that I could look at, which I've had plenty of experience with. You know, I've been in the self-help area, like investing a lot of my energy into that for quite some time, and I feel like I could really add some value, add my own little spin to it with my editing, and then even, you know, integrate a more holistic approach of spirituality into the mix. So it's quite unique in that regard, and particularly like the more pragmatic and advanced meditation teachings into this Western stuff for a really powerful combination of, like, you know, like a giga transformer of the liberating insights to apply to our life. So that's potential content in the future. But other than that, I'm also definitely considering, and I've bought some equipment to start creating a podcast as well, of getting really deep into the nitty gritty of awakening in my life. Like, getting into, you know, making podcasts on how I deal with anxiety and how I use like really high-end meditative insights on a moment-to-moment basis in my life to basically come out of suffering. And the idea of the podcast was going to be to call Awaken With Me. And that's been brewing in my mind for a while, where I just, you know, talk about something that I've researched and I've applied and I've found benefit from, that has contributed to wisdom and insight in my life. And I feel like that could be really awesome. Like, I would listen to that. I would listen to someone talk about their advanced meditative experiences and their busy Western life. So let me know in the comments if you're still watching. I don't know, this has been pretty rambly. If you're still here, I love you so much. But yeah, let me know if that's something you would listen to. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for 100 subscribers. Like, there's no better meaning in life than to give value back to people, and I'm so grateful that I can share my journey with you, and we can learn, grow, and awaken together. And at the end of the day, that's one of the main reasons I created this channel. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's go into 2021 and let's smash it. Also, if you're in Australia, let's catch up. If you're one of my subscribers in Australia, you like my content, reach out to me. We can catch up and we can have a coffee and talk about spirituality and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Adios.